story.
If I stay still, the thoughts of you will sink in. Point stands, but I'm still overthinking. You know you don't really call me like you used to, but I know you try. But I've heard you've been here before. But I won't stay the same. It's just what I'm used to. Some things don't ever change. I know it's me and you, but I don't stay the same. I'm just adjusting to. Some things don't change, but I'm designed to be held on to.
It wasn't unmuted.
Oh, good.
What I did was made sure that there was no lyrics while the video was on you.
Oh.
I was doing you a little favor, less embarrassing, because you never get the words right.
I got it pretty right that time. I just had to skip words.
But the camera wasn't on, so nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I did. I did really good that one time. Just the once.
Sure.
Hi.
We won't know.
I mean, in my heart, I know.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Perception.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, we're doing a Wednesday. Why?
Scooter's abandoning us.
Hey, you can try that. You abandoned us last week and the week before that.
What?
Twice in 1 week, basically.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't last week. It was the same 7 days.
Yeah, so it's been 2 different sections. So don't.
Yes.
It's not a...
Scooter is going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas.
So we are... Yeah, we'll talk about that. We will talk about that tonight, because...
My sheet's empty.
Well, yeah.
It's been a day. It's been a day.
Yeah, I know. She shows up like, the talent she is. Shows up like 3 minutes before and...
I had to eat.
Shows up 3 minutes before.
I made your food and
no
then...
sound check, and then left.
I sound checked.
Like 3 minutes before.
No. I came down, sound checked, went to the meeting, came back, ate some food. Here we are.
No, we did well.
We did this.
We've got this down to a science. So, yeah, today we'll be going over some good things, going over some, I don't know if there's an advise me not, maybe some rants. Don't know.
Yeah.
And since it's on a Wednesday, who knows what our viewership or our listenership is going to be? I don't know.
I don't think I've ever noticed.
We noticed because it changes the whole show. Just either goes off the rails, which is really good depending on who's in the chat. And I enjoy that. I like it.
Even without people, we take it off the rails. Just who we are. But first, let me take a selfie. Just kidding.
Oh, we're doing shots. Okay. On a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday. Yeah. Because we've never done that before.
I'm already tired behind the eyes.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Go
Lunch of a.
Salud.
No, we won't. Mm-hmm.
We won't.
Okay.
Still have to work after this.
That's okay. Yeah.
Just for like 3 or 4 hours.
I know. And
That's all.
Realistically, we were up. So across from me is this is Sarah.
Yeah, that's me. This is Scooter.
Yeah.
Hi.
We're a couple
People.
of yahoos.
Yeah.
Of little shenanigan makers. What are you looking down for?
I got a text message. I
See?
was reading it.
See? That's why you shouldn't have your phone out.
Well, it was my watch, really, that set it off.
I can't even with you.
Continue your story.
You're live. Listen here, talent.
Hey, but it's somebody in the chat who was sending a message, so that's what
in the chat. Then send it in the chat.
No, because it's not a chat conversation.
Okay.
Jesus. Sorry.
What's Jesus got to do with it?
Someone that could save you.
He is not one of our viewers.
You don't know that.
Oh, he's watching all the time. Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus. All right.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, first, we always want to talk about we are sponsored podcast. We are a sponsored podcast network by Elever Consulting. Check them out at eleverconsulting.com. Mention our name, please, and the podcast network, if you would, whatever podcast you're listening to on the network. And make sure you'll get like a free consultation through Lucy Zheng. And she'll probably end up being a guest on this podcast at one time or another.
We gotta get her down here.
Yeah,
she's not been that far anymore.
No, she's in the Pacific Northwest now. So, and we're down in Sacramento.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
I can say what I want, how I want.
I agree.
I'm feeling a little malackany.
He didn't go to bed till like 3.
Neither of us did.
I went to bed at 2.
I slept.
I gave up.
Oh yeah, I slept in a bit, but
I did.
yeah, it was a long night.
I slept at 7.
So
yeah,
and I know there's other people that have long days and stuff like that, but you know, we're gonna power through. So yeah,
next,
let's just go on to it.
Good thing.
All right, this is the segment of the show where we always start off the show with a good thing that's happened to us, usually between the day that we broadcast and the last time we broadcast or recorded. So it has to be in that time frame. And this one is only 5 days, right. 4 or 5 days. But a lot happened in 4 days. Let's be real. Okay, so go ahead.
So, I mean, it's like a what's up good thing. So in the last 5 days, I have been to, like, feet on the ground, California, obviously that's where I live, Colorado, where else did I go? Florida, Arizona. I've been to all those places. Now, 2 of them, only one was just the airport. That was just in Phoenix. But the other ones, I was actually in the city doing things. So it's nice to be out again and like do things for work and traveling. And it was so nice. And conference was nice. I went to a nerd conference about auditing because that's what we do once a year. And
once a year? More than once a year.
No, it's only once.
Nashville it's the same one as Nashville?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just in Florida this time?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And next year it's going to be San Diego. And the year after that, Vegas.
And she does take a +1.
Yeah, I always take a plus.
Most of the time?
There's been twice where I went by myself. I think. Colorado went by myself. And then one other one.
Because Nashville, you took me.
I did. Utah, I was Becca. This time I was Bailey. I enjoy them because I was telling Mariah, it's like one of those things of, it reminds you to stop being lazy at your job. Like you go there and you're like, man, I'm learning all these, I'm like reminded of all these tools and how to do my job well and all these things. So I'm going to do it really well. And then like during the year, it's like, I'm going to do it not as well as when I went to conference. You go back to conference, you're like, I'm going to do it great again. So that's one of my favorite things about going.
There is something about that. We talk about that a lot. It's like seeing people in real life that are in the same industry as you or do something similar passion-wise. I think it happened to me the first time because I've never been in like that kind of an industry. It's always been forced upon me.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, you're the manager of this store, so now you have to go and do team training in California. This is when I lived in the Northwest. Or go to Florida and get this training. And you're like, okay, But if it's your company, it's a whole, or your passion or your business, it's completely different. I think that was the first time, I think it was 2000. When did I go to TwitchCon the first time? 2015?
I think so.
16?
That sounds about right.
Something like that. And it was about 2016 because we just decided to do a Twitch stream for a company. We were just starting out. It was like, hey, we can stream games.
Yeah.
So we did that. And I went to TwitchCon. I went like, okay, that just, you contact people that are similar to you and then other people that have these great ideas. And then you also, over time, you run into the people where you become that person that has the great idea for somebody else. You go, hey, that's a great idea that you're working on, but try this. It works a lot better.
Right.
You become kind of that middle tier.
And it's also nice because like you're at a whole place where everyone speaks the same language as you. Because I feel like people around you know what you do when you're in a specific industry. People around you know what you do, but when you start like getting really in depth and start using acronyms, and they're just like, I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. But you go to a conference and everyone's using the same verbiage, and it's so nice. You're like, oh, we're all just nerds together. We're all excited about this Excel presentation.
No, acronyms kill me. They destroy me.
Oh man,
I can't do it.
All right, what's yours?
Oh, that was it. Oh, we're still good things. Yeah. Jazz night's over.
Oh God, it was fun though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a fundraiser for the Intercom High School Music Booster. which we're both on the board.
I'm ish on the board.
Yeah, well, I'm the board president.
Yeah.
So thank you. It's probably one of the strangest commitments I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Because it's so much work and no reward.
That's not true. I heard you're getting a plaque at the end of the year.
Oh, don't even start. I could care less about a plaque. I mean, I just, time and I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's over though. We did a fundraiser. It went so well. It was so much better from we got from the parents and everything. That was so much better than last year's.
Yeah.
Because it was at a venue. We had
The
libations.
auction was really cool.
Had libations. We had a lot of auction stuff going on there. We had a really cool guy that like emceed the thing, so we did that. I was like, he was really good at
He had
it.
a zoot suit on, people.
Yeah, it went really well
Yeah.
when it came to that. We had some people that got together a lot of donations, a lot of stuff for auction and raffle and those kind of things. And of course,
I should put that as my good thing.
what you got at the at the bidding at the auction.
So there's a
or
few
should we talk
people-
about what Elise got?
Oh
what our
gosh, go
daughter
ahead. You
got?
go Elise, I'll go ours.
Our 20-year-old daughter like showed up, got a ticket. Got her ticket. She showed up with our son, and they sat and they have an auction. So everybody has like little paddles. You can go get a paddle and put your name in for a paddle. She went up and got her own paddle because she saw that there was Girl Scout cookies basket there.
15 boxes.
15 boxes. And she's like, I am getting that. So there was a battle of bids between her and a really nice, fun guy that was, we got to know a little bit. $200
on Girl Scout cookies.
for Girl Scout
She just
cookies.
said, I am not losing
I'm
this.
not losing this.
She
And
said,
I
we're
was like,
not the losing table, guys.
all right. And I was like, go for it. So that was really hilarious.
Yeah.
A lot of people were laughing and having a good time about that. So
See, I
that
feel
was
like
cool.
mine was a steal because retail
that's
was
true.
like it was double as much as I paid
No,
for ours.
yours was a steal for
Yeah.
sure.
I figure out when to go.
Yeah, that's
There's only
another
2
thing.
dates, but I mean, or 2 sets
And
of
that
dates.
you can go on that.
Oh, so I bid on a 4-day, 3-night stay at a townhouse in Tahoe for South Lake Tahoe for 8 people. It's gonna either be early June, or like mid-September.
So it's gotta be mid-September. June is a
I
nightmare.
know. Mid-September sucks too, but
But it's not a nightmare.
yeah, it's not as bad.
June is a nightmare.
Well, that week is rough in September.
Yes.
Because
but-
it's like Tahoe, your birthday, move in, Ed Sheeran, and then back
there's
to normal
so many
life.
things. We talk about there's no real good month to do anything.
That's not true.
Where?
July would have been good.
You say that, and then we get to the end of June and go, wow, July is just packed full of crap.
It's true.
So,
Oh, you know what else we did this week? I can't go specifics, but I signed us up, and hopefully we'll hear back from somebody one day. But
how? About what?
a game show.
Oh, just don't even mention it because I think it ruins the.
But I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
hopefully- I sign us up for game shows all the time.
Yeah.
And like we hardly ever hear back. So I just continually, every time I see a new game show, I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool if we sign up for this one. So I do it.
And you got to keep doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like if you're out there, you guys, if anybody's listening to this or watching this and go, man, I wish I was on a game show,
You
just
should.
sign
They need
up.
people.
They get people.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest part about getting on a game show is realistically, are you available?
Yeah. Can
You know,
get yourself
can you get to
LA?
LA or
Yeah.
New York or
It's
whatever
always
they're,
LA.
yeah, it's always LA, but can you get to LA? And if you just say, yes, I can get to LA,
Yeah.
then they make it happen.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, we're always looking for, I mean, we did make it on Wheel of Fortune, so it is definitely something you can do as human beings. You
It's
can
so
be on a
fun.
game show.
I feel like everyone should.
Yeah, just keep trying it out. It's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
That's all I had.
Okay. Also went to a concert.
You did. I was
In the midst of all this, I have no idea what that noise is.
I was like,
I don't know.
I'm gonna go check.
Okay.
You do your thing.
Something's going on.
Some
over
weird noise is happening.
Yeah. It's probably our dog getting in the garbage or something. I don't know. Yep, see? Found the dog. She's trying to clean the dishes that are in the dishwasher because we left it open. That's pretty standard practice, I think, for dogs. So yeah, I took Mariah and a couple of her friends to some local music here in Sacramento on Sunday night. Was it Sunday night? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did jazz night, the fundraiser Saturday, and then Sunday. Took them down there because you went out of town that morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took Mariah and her two friends down there to see like 4 bands, and they're all local talent. We know a few of them because one of them used to be Mariah's guitar teacher a few years ago. So that was pretty cool and had a really good time. We didn't stay till the end because, it's Sunday and these are high school kids that need to get home. So it was really, really fun. And yeah, Ambiverse really put on it was their second live show ever. And the funniest thing was at the end, everybody's like, one more song. And the lead singer, Chris, who we know, gets on the mic and goes, that's literally all the songs we know. So it was like, and he was like laughing about it. I was like, that's literally every song we know.
That's awesome.
So it was super cool because they did like, I think 1 or 2 covers, but the rest of it was all their original stuff.
Cool.
So it was so good. Check them out. Ambiverse. They're at Ambiverse Band, I think, on Instagram.
If I have to spell that for people.
Ambiverse.
Okay, I thought you were doing Amniverse.
Ambi.
Oh, okay.
Like ambiance, ambi. Maybe it's ambiverse. I haven't asked.
Maybe we'll type it in like the description. Later.
Yeah, it'll definitely be in the description by the end of the night on our YouTube and everything. So yeah, check them out because I like their songs that they have released on Spotify. Very realistically, I like them. They're not like wow, they're not like any of my go-tos.
Yeah.
But live, dang,
Yeah.
they were so cool. Like it was like a hair flipping contest.
Oh,
It was
geez.
so yeah.
Did you win?
No, I didn't play. I wasn't on stage. But the guitarist, yeah, that was a cute part too. I don't know if we can talk about that, but yeah, it was pretty funny.
Nice.
The people we went with, let's say, really enjoyed watching the live show.
Yeah.
Let's look at it that way.
That's good.
All right.
Good things.
Yes, those were. You
You
didn't have
have
any
a
more?
rant? No.
Oh, I do. Why?
too.
Why do you look? Why can't you just ask?
The funny thing is, I'm so blind I can't see it anyways.
Yeah. So why do you always try
I
and
just
look
wanna
at
see
my
if there's
paper?
something in the box.
Were you that kid
No.
in high school or college? You just cheated off other people, or
No, I need
then
you.
why do you keep looking?
I just want to see if there's something in the box.
Okay, there is something in the box.
Then that's it.
What's in the box?
Oh, we don't have a rant of the week song. Your
No,
turn.
I know. I'm sorry.
You ready?
Again,
You gotta sing it.
no, it was your song. Kick it.
No, it's too much pressure now. I think that's not the right way. No, we gotta go back.
That's my throat.
I don't think that's not right.
Why?
Anyways, let's do some rants.
All right, this is the segment where we rant about something or someone or just something.
Lots of things.
Okay, so what's your rant?
Okay, so because I've been traveling so much, my rant is, and I'm gonna say a very bad word.
Oh no.
Get out of the dang aisle when you're getting on a plane. The people who get on the plane and then they're like, well, now I want to readjust my whole life in my seat while I'm in the aisle. I'm like, how do you have no self-awareness that there's a whole line of people behind you trying to get on the friggin' plane and sit down? There's nothing you're doing that's important. And you could literally stand in your little seat space and still put things in the cupboard and it would be fine. The people are such big a-holes that they just stand in the aisle and it gets on my nerves so bad. That was my rant.
And that's it.
I mean, I have more rants about traveling. So the last flight home, it was like only 89 people on the plane. Awesome, right? I get my window seat. It's cool. Some lady sits in the aisle seat next to me. I'm thinking, why? There's a whole plane of empty seats. Go find one in the back. Then she takes over the middle seat too with all of her stuff. She flips open the little thing. She puts her bag in the section. I was like, either this is community space or it's no one's space. But you don't get to take over the whole space. That's just rude. So rude. Nobody can hear her.
Same with I could.
I know, but we can. But they can't.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Elise, your message.
I know, but people that are listening
Oh.
or watching have no idea what you're saying right now.
There was a message. If you can hear Elise live streaming, let us know.
No, it's just that there's a lot of noise coming through. First, our dog, And then Elise got new headphones. Our 20-year-old daughter, who's in the other room, she got new headphones, so she's playing video games and yelling very loudly.
Oh,
So,
I didn't think it was that bad.
well, the difference is your mic's picking it up, and I can hear it in my headphones. So that means it can be heard.
Okay.
And I just told her, we're live streaming.
Look, it's like
That's it.
another rant.
It's just, huh?
It's like another rant.
That's not a rant. That was just like, hey, it's kind of the same thing of like, oh, it's on you.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's kind of the same thing of like, there's a line of people behind you. It's like, oh, there's other things going on in the house. Maybe you should pay attention to those things.
Yeah, but we also didn't tell her we were going live today.
No, we didn't. So that I didn't. So I wasn't mean. I was just like, so I don't understand. Here's the thing. Here's a rant. By me just stating something that's going on and giving somebody else facts, why is that rude?
I didn't say it was rude.
There was a something in the. It's like I can't hear anything. It's not that big a deal, but it had that kind of that tonality.
Because I can't hear anything.
But I can because you can't hear. You can hear my mic. I can hear your mic.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it was coming through your mic, and I could hear it in my headphones. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was just stating the fact.
All right.
Is that okay?
Nope.
No, it's not. I was like, that's a frustration in
Right.
the house for sure. That is a frustration because I have a tone in my voice and it comes off as being kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't just say stuff. I have to explain it or I say it in a certain tone or anything like that. But here's the funny part. All I did was text it this time.
But everyone reads it in the same tone that you say it.
And that doesn't, it's still just a sentence. Read it the way it is. I can read it out loud. I said, Elise, we are live streaming and can hear you on the mic. That's it. That's all I said. Is that considered rude?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I'm just saying. Everyone else just reads it in the way you would normally say it. That's why it's funny.
That wasn't even my rant. But airplanes in we're talking because I think last week we talked about the size of the seats.
Yes.
And those types of things. So realistically, I think I'm going to go let's say I go on the side of the person that's standing in the aisle. Because once you sit in that seat, you're in a coffin.
But you don't have to sit.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but then you also have to bend over in a form of a body
Origami.
movement that should not be, it's not physically possible to stand that way. So I'm just going on the other side of it. Is like, I understand it, but I still don't. Yeah, I agree with that. It was like, you are one out of however many people fit on a plane, but you're one.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're affecting more than one other person, you're a problem.
Right.
If you're only affecting one person, I get it.
Yeah.
It's a little inconvenient. But if you're affecting more than one, you've now become a problem.
Also, I'm like, there's only 89 people on this plane. Let everyone sit down and then get up and adjust yourself.
for
if you
sure.
need. No one else is sitting in the middle of you. The window's taken, the aisle's taken. No one's going in the middle. There's
I didn't know that.
100 other seats they could sit in.
Oh, I
Just
thought you
wait.
said it was full.
Not this one. This one was only 89. The one before that, they're like, it's a full flight. And I said, that's so sad. I hate full flights.
That wasn't my rant, but
Oh, go ahead. What's your rant?
flight seemed to be an ongoing because we've been
You're
traveling.
going to have a rant on next week? about
Yeah, but I
flying?
feel like, but I always look at it this way. Like, let's rewind to like every stand-up comedian that's ever gotten on stage talks about travel or airplanes.
Really?
And and that's because people that are in that industry, comedians, they travel a lot, right? So they're going to have a bus conversation, an airplane conversation. Well, to be to really relate as a comedian, you should probably talk about stuff that not everybody gets to do.
Right.
Because
That's true.
realistically, before you and I met, you'd never been on a plane.
That's true.
So to you, they're like, haha, that's funny.
Yeah.
But you don't know.
That's true.
Yeah. So I just look at it that way. It's like, yes, I'm going to have something to rant about from a plane or travel related probably next week.
Yeah.
Or it might be my good thing. I don't know. Mine is Echo settings.
I don't know what that means.
The settings on your Amazon Echo.
Oh, okay.
How they work and then they don't work and then they connect and then they just go, nope, you need to reconnect. No, then you need to turn off that, whatever they call it. You have to go into the actual app and reconnect it and then disconnect it. It's every single thing. It was 1:00 in the morning the other night while you were gone. And I was like, I couldn't even listen to my music because it was like, sorry, we're having problems connecting to that service. And I'm like, but why? Like, you can connect to every other service, and I can listen to the service on my phone through you.
Right.
But for some reason, this thing, so I unplug things, plug it back in, disconnect the. I can't remember what it's called. What's it called on the Echo on Amazon service when you turn on a? It's a feature, but they call it something specific, and I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know.
Like a talent or I don't remember what it's called. Dude,
I don't know.
you're not even trying to think.
Well, I never use it.
Yeah, I know, because every time something doesn't work, she's like, Scooter, fix that.
That's not true. It's because you've bought all of these and I never use them. I'm like, I don't want.
Yeah, but when you go, wow, it really is nice when that air purifier turns on and ice, makes the house smell better. I was like, all right, I'll fix it.
No, just push the button. It says on.
Nah, that's not how it works.
That is how it works.
Wi-Fi enabled.
Right, but
And it's supposed to be it's supposed to be attached. That's where my rant comes from. It's like, it'll work. Like, we have an air purifier downstairs, and we have allergies in the house, quite a bit of allergies. And it's on an automated system. So it turns on at midnight, turns off at like 6.
yes,
That's when
Normally.
we're supposed to be in bed.
right.
Right? And it works for about a month. And then it goes, you don't have an air purifier in your house. I was like, yeah, but we do. Oh, well, here it is. And then you go to connect to it. It goes, no, there's no air purifier there. It's like, all right. So you have to delete that thing, reset it, scan the stuff, put in all the codes, and get it on there about once a month.
Right.
And that's frustrating to me. And also, it's like, it probably happens like once a week. I'm having problems connecting to the internet. And I'm like, why? I'm on my computer. My phone's working just fine. Why is like, and the other day, when it started happening, I knew the night was going to be bad because I'm sitting here listening to a song. I'm by myself already. Right. And did anybody have, I don't know if anybody listened, but had a CD player.
Yes.
Okay. Back in the day. And like if you took a CD player and basically we're hitting it with a hammer.
Right.
And you know how it skips?
Yeah. What?
It was doing that to everything that I played on the Echo.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, no, it wasn't awesome. Okay. Because I think this was Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Because I was trying to pump through a bunch of work for your company on Sunday. Because you were gone. We had to go to the concert. I was like, I'm trying to get like as many hours as I can to get all this stuff done for you guys so it'll be easier. And all I need is some music to go with it. And all I hear is, it just sounds like an angry, like, sous chef.
How long did you focus on that? Did you just turn
What?
it off and just play it on your phone?
No,
You had to solve it.
I didn't solve it.
Okay.
I
You
just
tried.
let it happen. No, I really let it happen in my ear. And then my blood pressure, like my eyes turned red.
I would have just turned it off.
Like
and
my
then
ears started bleeding
just
because
play
I
it
was
from your
so
phone,
angry.
'cause
No, I was so angry. I just kept
so
pumping
easy.
through it. But yeah, the air purifier, that one ticks me off too. It's not even connected right now.
Because it can work. You just have to press the on button. But it's the fact that
It's the principle.
supposed to be
Okay,
be
no.
Bluetooth enabled.
It's you could just push the on button. That's
Right.
true. Okay. But there's a reason why we don't have to go around and light lanterns in our house, okay? Because
big
we
leap.
created electricity to where you just flip a switch.
a large
right?
leap right
No. There's a reason why the technology exists and we have progressed into that point, right?
True.
So we have this technology. Why do we spend money on Wi-Fi then if we can just plug it into the wall and have internet?
Convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the convenience, when you have something that's convenient, it frees you up to fill in that convenient space in life with something else. So now you added something else in your life. Now that is disrupted along with that freed up time for something else
Right.
is disrupted because now you've got to go and fix your freaking Wi-Fi or you've got to plug into the wall or you got to light the lantern instead of flipping on the switch because you have power.
Right, but you would still do those things.
No.
This is because he hasn't seen me in 3 days. This is just how he gets when I travel.
Oh, but there's another. But here's a positive part of this. Is no joke. She left us, and she is what we call the catalyst. I think of the house. We still get. I mean, realistically, when she's gone, we get more done more efficiently when she's not here.
Right.
Fact.
Yeah.
That is true. Like things are on time and we get everything done. But it's definitely not as, how do I want to say it? It's not as community.
Yeah.
It's not as.
It's just like we're doing these things because we have to do these
Yeah.
things.
So, but on that point, though, CJ and I made dinner. It was only tacos. I get it. But 17 minutes.
Very proud of
CJ
myself.
and I had, I mean, we're talking from taking the meat out of the fridge was the starting second. 17 minutes later, the food was on the table. Taco shells were heated up. Everything. 17 minutes. Just
really
him and
good.
I by ourselves.
It's good.
Killed it. So I got to say, and we were like, whoa, this is good.
But that should have been your shout out.
It kind of is, but I mean, it's also my rant going, you know, the convenience is like, could you imagine having to do that with no music
Oh, God.
playing? It would have taken me 45 minutes.
But you have music on your phone. You just have to press play.
I know when I press play, I want to hear it on that speaker. I don't want to hear it on this
Dear
speaker.
Lord.
I want to hear it on that speaker.
Okay.
You know why? Because, and here's the next thing. Let's talk about settings.
Just a rant episode.
No, right now there's this amber band that is spinning around
yeah.
our Echo right now, and I did name her something else.
Why?
So that I can talk about her.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know
She's
what
up there.
you're saying.
I named her something else.
Yeah.
So that when I say Echo, it doesn't go.
I thought you meant you changed her name since I was last here.
No, gosh, no.
That's weird.
I just that way I don't have to say it.
Yeah.
It won't kick on. But there's an amber band
Yeah.
that goes on there. Now, if you add multiple profiles on there, how deep the rabbit hole goes. If you add multiple profiles on there, you don't know which profile that amber band is spinning for.
That's true.
So you have to go through the profiles like, hey, switch to this profile. Nope, that's not it. And then how do you turn off CNN?
Oh,
Like for some reason, every day I get CNN updates.
Oh, it's like 17 updates
on
a
her,
day.
and I'm like, and I've gone through. I mean, believe me, I've gone through my thing, my settings, all my stuff. I've reset it. I mean, I'm pretty good at this stuff.
Can I tell you something funny?
No,
It's not an amber
not
band.
funny.
It's yellow.
the amber.
It's not. It's yellow.
She says amber.
No, it's yellow.
She doesn't say yellow, does she? When she
doesn't-
talks about
Yes.
it, when you ask her,
She
it's
said
like,
if there's a yellow band,
oh, because
a yellow ring is what
whatever.
she says. So
amber sounds so much
It's
cooler.
like amber.
It's yellow.
It's like,
Okay,
What does that say?
it just sounded cool. They said amber.
Oh, you're a mess. All right.
I am a mess. I missed you, and she got home like late last night, and I forced her to stay up. But I was like, I need my time.
Yes.
So we stayed up and watched The Voice.
Yeah.
And now we're both like exhausted.
I only got like 4 hours of sleep.
I got like 8.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wimp.
Oh, geez.
I got 8.
Yeah. Anyways,
My neck hurts. I slept so long. Ugh, I'm
Whatever.
just kidding.
I tried. The sun came out.
All right. What are we
Thanks,
even
Ryan.
doing?
Ryan likes my sweatshirt. I stole it from Scooter.
Oh, yeah.
He got to widen the shoulder to wear.
I got bigger.
I was trying to say it nice.
No, it is up here. I was like, but over this last year, it came out here too. But this happened before that.
Kind of like Ross or something, didn't we?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Wasn't a Black Friday something? I think it was close to. No, your brother got one on Black Friday because we
Yes.
got that. We got it like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We
say that, so it's probably like 7.
Yeah, I mean, pause. But yeah, my shoulders got everything I wore for a while was a large, and then
He's gonna say it was jujitsu.
I worked out more, and I did more stuff, and then all of a sudden everything got wider up here. And I had to go to XL.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even wear a bow tie anymore. My neck's so fat.
I mean, you could. You just can't wear your old bow ties.
No, the bow tie
anymore.
would have to be like a freaking lasso whip. It'd have to be so long. So
Ridiculous.
that would be.
And yes, Ryan, it's because he had too much beer.
That's down here. That's for sure. That's definitely down here. That's what this is from.
Oh, you're ridiculous.
I was rubbing my tummy. If you're just listening,
yeah,
not
that's
watching.
true.
All right, are we doing something else?
Yeah. We're going to advise people. We're going to make this
Oh,
a lively conversation.
You have the button too.
No, Advise me not. I gave you 5 buttons, and one of them is not.
I only
sounded.
gave you 5 buttons. What do you mean? You said you didn't want any buttons.
I just feel like I don't think I used the buzzer and the timer enough, or at all.
You
So I'll
you
take one of
buzzed
the
me.
other buttons. Can you do that tomorrow? I'm just
You do that before the show's over.
Right, just do it while we're
Please,
talking,
Do
it's
this
fine.
real quick.
So,
Yes.
and I'm going to do my really best to make this not sound super boring.
I don't.
It's
And
like
here's.
an old
Oh no, hold
people
on.
show.
Here, advise me not. Advise me not. Is a segment where we talk about stuff that we have opinions on, which is pretty much everything, and we don't know much about it, and which is pretty much everything also. And if it's really to spark a conversation at your home, with your people, if we're your people, spark the conversation with us too. But it's to start that conversation with your family, your friends, your close circle of people. And we have changed it to where we kind of crowdsource some of these subjects. And then Sarah pretty much picks them, and then, okay, here we go.
So
Is it
this
boring?
was, I don't,
Is it a boring one?
Here's the thing. I don't find it boring. And I
Boring?
feel like
Sounds
by
boring
your
already.
age, you shouldn't find it boring either.
Sounds boring already.
Because
it's boring.
there should be something in place, but there's not.
Old people,
Yeah.
boring.
So someone asked if we can talk about retirement planning and like what that actually
Gross.
means. So when you were talking earlier about retirement, you're like, well, if you always do what you love, then you're not really retired. And to me, retirement isn't about just stop working, right? It's the ability to have enough money in your bank account to say, I don't want to have to work 40 hours. But if I want to work, I can.
Yeah,
To me, that's the point of retirement that I want to be at. It's not where like, oh, now I'm 60 and I just don't want to work anymore.
I'm never wearing my ring.
I think I'm not either. But I think at 60, because that's only like 10 years for you, that's not that far away. And so the thought isn't, I just want to stop working. It's, I want to have enough money in the bank to be like, if I don't want to work this week, I'm not going to be like, man, I'm screwed.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was really talking about if you're... Okay, because I have this theory, and I've had this theory for a very long time. If you're working for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Working for the weekend is the worst, to me, is the worst way to live.
True.
If you're like showing up on Monday and going, man, I can't wait till Friday. Okay, something's, to me, you need to change your life. Like something needs to change in your life.
Yeah.
And I feel like retirement's the same way. So I feel like retirement has this stigma.
Yes.
The stigma of you put in that Monday through Friday or whatever. You can say Monday through Friday. It's just a saying. But then after you hit 65, you retire, and then you take up gardening.
Right.
I was like, to me, that's so backwards.
Yes.
Because why not take up gardening at 21,
Right.
right? On Tuesdays.
Yes.
And you take Tuesdays off. I mean, I just like, why do I have to wait until I'm 65 or retirement age, whatever retirement age is? It's probably 80 by now.
Well.
In our country.
Right.
But why is retirement the goal is to retire and then go do
then live
something,
life.
go do something you want to do your whole life.
Right.
I'm like, that sounds so insane to me.
Yeah.
And it has since I was in my 20s, I was like, that makes no sense.
Right.
And I feel like that's why a lot of times the conversations with my parents didn't go well. The conversations with my other family members didn't go well. They're like, what do you mean you're not going to get a real job? And I was like, what do you mean a real job? Am I paying bills? I'm paying the bills, but that's not a real job. I was like, what do you mean it's not a real job?
Right.
I was like, if you're doing something and you're getting paid for it, it's a job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's work. And so retirement, we talk about planning for retirement. I don't know what the subject even is anymore.
Yeah.
What is it? Planning for retirement.
It's like planning for retirement, and what does that look like? So I had this
I agree with that.
conversation.
That's good.
The other, actually, was it yesterday? Yesterday, I think.
It's all one day.
I know.
Every
It's
day's a
not
Monday.
So there's like so many things you can do. And realistically, the younger you start, the easier it is, right? That's the goal
that's
that
so
everybody
true.
needs to understand. Number one, you have to realize a retirement account isn't just a 401k. There's like so many other things. There's a 403b, there's a Roth IRA. There's like so many things you can do to make it to where you have multiple, basically at that point, retirement streams that you're not focused on one thing. Because the younger you are, the more risky you can be. And so that way it builds more for you. And then the older you get, they make it less risky. But there's so many things you can do now, no matter how old you are, to still have it to where you have some money at retirement.
And I have to say, there's been some, and I'm talking older generation, and I'm talking about my generation. Yes. I read it too. I'll get on there. I'll read that comment here in a second. But there's something in the older generation which I am part of. So I'm saying when I say older generation, I mean mine.
Yeah.
and above, like, cause I'll be 50. So it's pretty common in anybody that's over 40, at least in 2023. Anybody over 40, 50, they talk about cash is king.
Right.
Okay. That's insane.
Right.
Like that makes no sense in my brain.
Yeah.
What makes sense in my brain is diversifying.
Yeah.
And we're not investors, and we don't have the greatest investments. And
He doesn't know that, actually.
Okay.
We aren't investors.
So so there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind that,
I've always told Scooter
Mm-hmm.
when we become millionaires, he will never ever know that it's a thing.
Right. So I'll just keep buying more guitars.
Now, and I'll keep
until
telling you,
that
no, we
happens.
don't have it.
And I'll still keep buying them. No, we're not the best investors out there to take advice from.
No, we're not professional.
Yeah, and we don't have like $100,000 out there just sitting waiting for us to pull.
Not yet.
No, but that's the goal. But it's not. We also don't put everything into a Roth or an IRA or into cash is king, into savings, or invest. Because stocks and bonds. But it's a little bit, not a little bit, but more depending on where we're going. It diversify, because crypto's a thing. Whether
I won't do crypto.
Yeah, but.
And I know it's a thing. I just
totally fine.
I just won't.
But I was saying it is a thing.
Yeah.
Right. But it's also, back in the day, there's stuff like IRAs and Roths and bonds and stuff like that. People were like, no, I'll never do that. That's crazy. And then other people were making millions and millions of dollars off them. So
I agree.
If somebody's making millions and millions of actual dollars off of something, then it is an investment that you might want to go, hey, I'll throw a little bit in there.
I agree. I just won't. That's all.
Right. And
but
totally fine.
I follow I only use social media really to follow people who I can learn from, because otherwise what's the point? And family, right? It's family and people I can learn from.
Are you talking about your social media?
Yeah.
I go through my social media probably once a month and delete people that I follow, like unfollow people that I'm like, I'm not into that anymore.
That's how few people that I follow is. It's like, if you can't give me advice about things that I want to get better at, there's no need for me to follow you unless you're family or friends. At that point, that's it.
But that's a relationship thing too.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So I follow, I can't tell you anybody's handle, but one of the things of like the thing about being a millionaire is they have like 7 streams of income, and it's diversifying that part to where you're not just having to put money in a Roth and into like the retirement, the bank accounts. Like, you should have land, and not just in the US. If you want to have land all over the place, and you should have property, and you should rent it out. And it's nice to see the things you should be doing, because you should have some type of income that exists where you don't have to go to work every single day. Like, that's the goal, is to be like, no, my money's working for me, whether it's sitting in a bank account and it's just earning a good amount of interest every single month, or it's in the stock market, it's earning interest. Like, there's things that your money should be doing to where you don't have to work. Like, I want to retire before I have to retire, if that makes sense.
Look at it as, okay, if you're a sports person or a NASCAR person or a video game person, whatever you're at, if it's a competitive anything. So anything that's competing, let's say you have 16 teams, right? And your money is on 1 out of 16. You have that percentage of chance to win.
Right.
But what if you had the right amount of money mixed through all 16,
right,
to where every single time the season ended, you made $100,000?
Exactly.
That's what diversifying is.
Yeah.
Because realistically, let's just say your bonds aren't going, this is old school, but your stocks, if you diversify your stocks, you will always make money. With it, when it comes to historically in the stock market, the United States stock market, if you keep the investment for an average of 7 years, you will always make money.
Right.
Historically.
Yes.
Even we're talking through the Depression,
yes,
we're talking through the crash of the housing market.
Right.
And what was that, 2000, mid 2000s or something like that. When the housing market crashed, when the stock market pretty much crashed too, the banks got saved and all that stuff. If you kept your money in for any 7 years across the board,
it's going to come
you're
back.
going to make money.
Right.
But that's just one.
Yeah.
So let's say you invest in sports team.
Yes. Which you can do.
Yes,
There's
you
not
can.
a lot of them, but there are
But
some you can buy
they're out
stocks
there.
in. Yeah.
What-
Manchester United.
Manchester, which I'm still upset that we don't own part of that
You
anymore.
can still buy stock in it if you want.
I know, but it was just kind of one of those things. Is there
stock in
there's
Wrexham.
there's that American football team too? What is it?
I can't remember what it is, but there's one American football team you can buy stock
Yeah, I
in.
can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But we looked into that too. And that's just fun because you're rooting for someone. It's kind of like you're rooting for a team.
Right.
And you're rooting for a team because I'm part of that.
Yes.
Like you make that happen, even though it's $20 a month or whatever it is. But
Whatever you put in.
it's still
Yeah.
it's still actually your team
Yes.
instead of just like go Golden State Warriors. And you're like, yeah, but
Just give money for no reason.
yeah.
And so I also think it's really good to realize that you don't have to have a retirement account because you have a job, because you have a job that offers it. You can go and make your own retirement
for
account.
sure.
You do not have to have you don't have to work for a company to have a retirement account.
Yeah, 401k is just an enticing way for the company that you work for to have you stay working for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they get discounts.
What you should do. Well, so let me say this too. So if you are a sole proprietor and you have a tax management-ish person or like your business person, ask them about a 401k SEL is what I think it's called. So it's basically a 401k for a sole prop where you pay into your 401k and then you as a company match your 401k.
Yeah.
And both sides are tax write-offs. And you've just doubled the amount that you've put in there and it's a benefit either way.
You put so you're saying everything you put in there is a tax write-off at that point.
Right.
Everything.
Yes.
From a company side and from your personal side.
Yes.
Durr.
If you have a sole prop, I'm just saying,
And
you should definitely
and
reach
that
out.
it's one of those things of working for yourself is a lot of work.
Yes.
It is 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're always working, but you're not always having to work as hard, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So when it comes to those, like you're talking about the investment on both sides, there's an enticing thing that companies give you: vacation, paid time off, 401k investment, all these discounts. It was like a medical insurance, all those types of things. So you have to do the math.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're making $100,000 a year working for yourself and it costs you $7,000 a year for insurance,
Right.
which it might.
Yeah.
Okay. You're still making $93,000 a year. Right. So are $93,000 a year. But a lot of people will go, I'm going to stay with my $50,000 to $60,000 a year job that I work at because they provide medical.
Right.
That's insane. Like, you could make $30,000 more a year, just pay your own medical insurance. But you're like, but then I'll lose my medical. I was like, go get medical, make $100,000 a year, net 93.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything you do is a tax write-off, including investments, including investing in yourself. It's insane. So retirement, and I want to loop back to what you said at the beginning.
Okay.
Retirement to me is the same thing. If we want to take a week off from working, we can.
Right.
So you can retire for a week and then come back.
Right. I want to have enough in the bank where if I want to try it for a year, I can come back. That's just the life that I want to live one day. If I want to take 3 months off, I want to make sure there's enough in there where I'm like, yeah, I can afford to take 3 months off and everything's still going to be fine.
Yeah, we are not there.
No, but we will be.
Well, we're working on that.
Well, I won't tell you when we will be, but we will be at some point.
Okay. And so let's go back to that. It was like, so we do have a comment in here. Oh, it was right after the too much beer. Yeah, that's my keg that I have for a belly. But it also was from Ryan because he's a chatty boy. I just want to retire and move to Sacramento and go to Log Off and New Glory every night. Whoa.
So he wants to move to Rancho Cordova is where he wants to live.
Or off of Power Inn because there's a couple out there too.
Yeah, that's true.
But realistically, that's not a bad goal to have. And I mean, you got to look at it. That's the surface, but it's also being able to do what you want when you want to do it. right?
Right.
I think that's what retirement really means to
Yeah.
me. It doesn't mean I've quit working and now I'm gonna walk in the park, get a dog, pick up gardening.
Yeah. It does. I mean, that may be what someone looks forwards to. Like, it doesn't.
That's different. That's
have
not.
to
That's.
be.
I'm just saying that's
Right.
just not me.
Right. The other thing I was going to say too, what some people do, and if you can do it, good for you. You could also go get a government job, right? And you work for 20 years, which sounds like forever. And by the time you put your 20 years in, when you retire, you have a pension, which won't be super big, but it exists. But also your medical's covered, because when you get older, that's one of the biggest expenses you have is your medical. So you also could go that route. The cool thing is like, so I worked for the state for our government for 10 years. So I have a pension that exists. And I have a couple options. Right now, it just sits there and it's like a really good savings account. I have to do nothing and it earns like 6 or 7% by itself. It just does. And it's awesome. And so I have the choice at any point to take how much is in there and either roll it over into my Roth, or just leave it and take a small pension for the rest of my life whenever I get to the point of retirement age, which is like, I think it's 62 for state. So there's those things, right? And then the other cool thing about if you have a pension, or if you're able to set up a pension, is that those can roll over to your heirs. So however long, and realistically, it's for the rest of their life, which is kind of cool. You tell how many people you want to split it between, and they split it between your heirs. And for the rest of their life, their natural life, they get whatever that money is. And the cool thing about a pension is that it doesn't really matter how much is in there. It doesn't matter if over 20 years, you're probably going to have like, depending on your job, you're probably going to have like a good $200,000 in there. But you're getting a check, no matter how much is in there, you're getting a check for the rest of your natural life for that same amount of money every single month. And that is pretty awesome. So state government is so boring. Lord help us. But there is that benefit that when people talk about, well, I want to have retirement and I want to have medical when I retire, that is a big deal for a lot of people, because medical expenses are friggin' insane.
They really are in this country. And you also got to look at, and that's one avenue. I have to say, like, and I don't want to play devil's advocate. No, I love playing devil's advocate. So you got to look at it this way. It's like, if you have that as an investment, like you have right now, your retirement, I think is it CalPERS?
Yeah.
So you have that pension sitting in there. So, but that's not your only investment.
No.
Why?
Because there's always should be more.
There
7.
not just more money, but the government can fail.
Right.
I mean, governments have risen and fallen
Right.
for centuries.
Yes.
Like, the United States government is not impermeable.
Right.
Right? I was like, we don't know, like, tomorrow,
Yeah.
we might not be under the United States rule. We don't know what's going on in other countries and everything that's going to happen. So, I mean, you got to look at historically, we have to realize that even California all of a sudden is like, okay, we've decided that California is now going to be Southern Oregon.
Right. Yeah, they won't.
No, you say that, or it just disappears because of an earthquake.
It would be Jefferson.
I'm just saying there's so many options that the world has. Are you going to be able to survive through those things? Now, I don't want to say that's.
I don't think that far. I don't think that deep.
But then why do you diversify then? If you
Because
don't think that deep,
I don't
because
think,
that's why diversifying is a thing, because people think that deep and things like that have occurred over history. That's why diversifying exists, and that's why it works.
right. But I personally have never. I mean, I don't diversify because I think, well, what if this fails? I'm just like, I know from owning my own business that there are some weeks where things are better and there's some weeks where things are worse, and so I'm just like, oh,
True.
let's
Or
make this happen.
and all of a sudden, let's just say you're invested in Manchester United, and all of a sudden they go, that doesn't exist.
Right.
It was like, okay, all the money that's in there that I had in there is now gone.
Right.
Right. Or you cash out on it once.
Yeah.
And now it's gone.
Yeah.
So either way, but you have 6 other things.
Right.
Right. So I think
At some point, I gotta get Scooter a Roth. That's the next goal. Because I have one, and we're married, and Scooter can't ever leave me because it's not allowed. So we have one.
I don't know what that means.
That we're sharing. You can't ever leave.
well, I mean, I don't,
But I
but
do
don't
want to
understand
get to your
what that
own
means.
Roth. So where if you want to, you can have your own investments. But the other cool thing is people assume that it's really expensive to have your your portfolio managed by like a company. It's not that expensive. E-Trade is like, I think it's like 0.01% of how much is in your retirement account that they charge you for managing your account. And they manage your account, but they'll buy stocks, they'll sell stocks, they'll move it to whatever percentage that you want it the risk to be at. And it's so cheap to have them manage it. And that way it takes all the guesswork out. You just literally deposit money whenever you want. But check federal guidelines on how much you can deposit each year. And then they just manage it for you. And it's wonderful. You just go in and check it and be like, oh, it's a really bad week. But don't check it every day. It'll make you sad.
Well, and I think that's another thing on your investments. Like if you check every day,
no,
you're gonna get consumed.
Unless you're in the market of that's what I do.
That's what you do for a living.
This is the challenge you've just given.
Because I do know some people that's what they do for a living.
Yeah,
like their actual.
I couldn't do it.
I think his name's Daniel, but that's what he does for other people, and it's daunting to me. I was like, I couldn't do that.
No, that's too much.
No, it's too much numbers.
Yeah,
too many numbers.
But anyways, retirement wise,
retire today.
We're okay.
No, I mean, in our definition of retirement today,
yes,
which means find something that fits you, and if it's a Monday through Friday and you work for the weekend and you love having Saturdays and Sundays off, because you can turn your brain off.
Yes.
You're realistically in your mind, you're retiring for 2 days a week.
Right.
Right? It was like, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Okay. So look at it that way. And also as you get older, just know that things shift.
Yeah.
Medical expenses go up.
Yeah.
Time is less.
Your mobility, like when people tell me that they're waiting to retire so that they can, I'm just like, what if you can't?
You won't be able to.
What if something happens that now you can't? But right now you can, and you have the means to
go
do that.
It.
Like, why would you wait 30, 40 years to go on that trip you've been waiting for forever, when in 30, 40 years you might not physically be able to do that?
I agree.
That part, yeah.
On that note, my older sister, Ardonna, yes, her name is Ardonna. She just took a trip. Was it last month or whatever? She finally got to go to Memphis, Tennessee.
No.
I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and she always she was always, we were always kind of raised with listening to Elvis. I liked it, but it wasn't my thing too much. But I know Ardonna really loved it because my mom always had Elvis playing. We also had like Meatloaf and Ozzy Osbourne, and we had a lot of.
Your mom played Ozzy Osbourne?
No, my older brother did.
Oh, okay.
And my mom would listen to it, but we also listened to that Meatloaf. She loved Meatloaf, Elton John, all that stuff. But she had this really real deep love for Elvis. Yeah. So it kind of imprinted on my older sister. But she finally her and her husband went to Memphis for the first time ever. And she like bought a bunch of stuff and saw all these things and took pictures. And she's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to even go back to Memphis ever again. I made it. I did those kind of things. So it's also one of those things like that. She's been talking about that for 40 years.
And she's not that far from Tennessee.
Well, it depends on, where she's at. I mean,
you could drive.
What do you mean?
I mean, wasn't she live in Montana?
Sometimes.
Oh.
Like, and sometimes in Arizona.
Yeah.
So, anyways. I think that's how they got there. But
that's cool.
So it's just like those kind of things, like experience those things. Like if it comes as an option for you to go do, like if you can find a way, Ryan, to go to your favorite brewery once a month or once a week or whatever, find your thing and find your way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think, there's some people in our lives that they live like that, but then other people, it's like they love the Monday through Friday.
Right.
And they're happy with it.
Yes. And that's retirement life.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's their life.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if we advised you, but we talked about it.
Yeah, that's all we know.
I didn't do a what's up in your area, did you?
Yeah, well, no, I did not, because I wasn't even thinking about this. What's up in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do.
What are you going to go do?
What's up in you? So here's our segment. What's up in you or area this weekend? What's the month we're in?
May.
This weekend, May 13th. Sick new world coming to Las Vegas, Nevada?
Yep.
Coming to Las Vegas, Nevada.
I know. He's
It's
literally
all right. We'll fix it in post.
leaving for Mother's Day. I'm not even going to be here. Shame. Shame, shame, shame.
So somebody that I know who does not makes a lot more money than I do, messaged me like months ago, right? And says, hey, May 13th, you want to go to Vegas and go to a rock concert? And I'm like, my response was, how is that a question? Like, why is this in question form? It should be, there's a concert May 13th and I'm paying for it. When are you going to be there?
Right.
Or see you there?
Right.
It should not even been in question form. So literally all I have to do is buy a plane ticket to get there and a plane ticket to come back to Vegas, which is not super expensive from Sacramento, relatively speaking, on other places. And food, room, concert is all paid for. I'm going to see, my biggest thing is like, I'm probably just going to hang out with this dude and his son and his son's friends and stuff. Cause the kids are all into like rock and roll and stuff like that. They're all musicians. But there's a couple bands, like one for sure, Flyleaf, Lacey Sturm is back in Flyleaf. So I'm very, very excited about that. But other than that, I'll probably just be hanging out with this dude and enjoying
Getting
myself.
sunburn. You should really bring sunblock.
I did look at the forecast. It's supposed to be like 93.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's when the sun wants to kill you. When it's
93 not bad.
over 85, the sun wants to kill you.
93 is not bad. If it was like in the hundreds, I'd be like, oh, it's going to be rough. 93 is not bad at all.
Okay, so if you're watching the video of this, you will notice there's a difference in the tone of our skin. She gets darker. I turn into like a
tomato,
boiled tomato. Okay, so
well, it's not that bad. 93 is pretty good.
I'm out with you. I'm done with you. Yeah. So our Wednesday stream. Are we on Wednesday?
Yes.
Still Wednesday?
Yeah. Do you want to see if Ryan has a question for us?
I don't know who's even in there.
Me either. Ryan, if
do
you're
we
still
want
there,
to do a random?
Do you want to have a question for us?
It's up to you guys. I know there's some people watching. If you're watching, I know it's kind of random that we kind of kick it out here on a Wednesday night. So I apologize if you're missing the show. But I want to make sure that we had a show.
Yeah.
Just so that we have something on our podcast also on Monday, because I try and put this on Monday podcast.
See, he says there. All right, if you have a question, Ryan, let's do it. Oh, yeah. Bonus round.
So this is a segment here where we come up with a random question and we ask it to each other and maybe some people in the chat, and find out what we think and what we know. And
the box, but Ryan always has some.
there's
good
the pink
questions.
box is right there, love. Like it's always right behind you. I make sure of it.
I was just pointing,
but I
that's
always
all.
make
Oh,
sure.
see, he's got one.
Oh,
just one.
okay. Okay, so people might be listening. So Sarah doesn't understand that some people listen to this in a podcast, so she thinks everything is visual. So Ryan's question right here is, what's something that she does that drives Scooter crazy? Oh, sorry.
No.
Oh, I'll read it the other way. Here's what it actually says. What's something that Scooter does that drives you crazy? I'm pretty much thinking he says Sarah. He's thinking Sarah. So what's something that I do that drives you crazy? You don't make a list.
Number one.
You make lists, but that's a list you don't make. You're just like, oh, that's something new that drives you crazy. Didn't know.
One. I cannot take it when Scooter calls me Sarah because I know he's mad at me. That's when I know he's super frustrated. He'll be like, Sarah. I'm like, don't you dare use my name. You might as well call me the B word.
It's so true.
Drives me insane. And I know he knows it bothers me, but he still does it.
And I don't mean to do it. I feel like sometimes I don't, how do I put it? Because I have such a stern voice anyways. And sometimes I don't feel like you are sensing how serious I am about something.
No, I
right?
always know.
So that's when I go, Sarah. And then that's it. I might as well said, you should just effing calm down.
He should. I mean, it's the same friggin'
It's the
thing.
same
Oh
thing to
my
her.
gosh, it drives me insane.
Calling her Sarah.
Yes. And yes, I know it's my name, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's different.
Because when you say it, it's only because you're upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, every other time it's babe.
Yes.
It's love. I say, okay, all right, love.
Yes.
Okay, babe. I mean, yeah.
All right, you ready? Number 2.
All right, next.
So instead of saying, he won't say calm down, but he'll be like, can you just stop? I'm like, flip a table. Can you just stop? Oh. And I mean, it's the same thing as saying calm down, but you won't ever say calm down. You're like, can you just stop for a second? No, I cannot just stop for a second.
You need to calm down.
Oh, you want to go with mine?
Oh,
you can tell me
true.
what it bothers you.
Oh, that wasn't the question.
That's true. Okay, next question. The most expensive meal we've ever had?
Vancouver.
The fish?
Like multiple meals in Vancouver. I feel like how many times we eat out there? Like big out there, like 5?
No.
Okay, 4?
How long were we there?
Like 3 days, and you have 3 meals a day.
Wait, I have to read Bailey's comment because it's funny. She said, Ryan told me to relax the other day, and I did flip a table.
Oh, you should.
Yes. Oh, why would you say it to somebody? I just don't understand.
Just relax.
Yeah.
Right? I was like,
Like,
wow.
Just stop, Sarah. Oh, that's it. You just want to die.
You need to relax. I was like, oh no.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that just came out of my
Is
mouth.
Vancouver I feel like the fish was pretty. We had the fish meal.
All I'm saying is
was pretty expensive.
okay. All I'm saying is we ate out every time.
Yeah.
Okay. And those meals, all the meals in Vancouver went to our top 10 of most expensive. Like everything just did a paradigm like flip.
I don't know. When we had our anniversary meal downtown, that was pretty expensive. The
Okay,
camp.
that's once.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that's once.
Yeah.
All I'm saying in
But
Vancouver,
in Vancouver,
all
they
those
do
things
the
went
whole
up.
fish that's like enclosed in salt, and you have to pay. I mean, it's a whole fish, so you're paying like
an
market
experience.
value for the fish. So that was up there. But
Well, I
that
just feel
wasn't
like I understand it, but I
trying to
always
think.
feel like when you go to a place in a restaurant and there's no prices after
that.
it,
It just says market value.
or it just doesn't have it. You know,
Yeah. But
that means
Vancouver
it's
was
not
always
cheap.
4 people. When we did downtown, it was just you and me, and it was still like $400.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, but all I'm saying
How many
is
people are we just talking about here? Just me and Scooter's been like 400-ish.
probably
But
downtown.
Beck and Orville have definitely topped us on that one.
Yeah.
When they go out to like a steakhouse, just 2 of them, they're just like, I want you get a crab cake, and you get a crab cake, and I get a steak, and then you have a dessert.
And then they don't eat
then
it all.
2 drinks. Yeah. They definitely top us when they go out to dinner.
Yeah, but I just feel like
No, they eat it all. They don't
Oh.
waste food. No.
so,
No. Ooh, okay.
that's a good one.
What's the spookiest thing you've ever experienced? I don't know if I have one.
Oh, I know. I have multiple.
I
ones,
know.
But
You go first so I can think.
no, because mine's gonna get into like conspiracy theories and ghosts and.
Well, that's the whole point of the question.
Okay, did we answer everything? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so flip the table.
Yeah, I got it.
You want to hear both of us answer the spooky one?
Yeah.
Okay, you should go first.
I
then.
can't go first. I have to think of one still.
Oh, I don't want to say the spookiest, but one of the spookiest because this has happened to me multiple times in my life, and I don't want to say that like I'm weird, but maybe I'm weird. So I was living in Kentucky with my dad and my stepmom, Carol, and they were on they stayed on the top floor. There was 4 floors.
Okay.
It's crazy. Yeah, 4 floors, and all the bedrooms were on the 4th floor. So every night I could hear somebody in the attic above these 4 floors just walking back and forth. And you could tell it was walking. It wasn't like a raccoon or something like that. And I'm 16. I'm 16 at this point. And I didn't enjoy it. So I'd always come downstairs to the 2nd floor and stay up all night, watch MTV, everything like all night. And then I'd sleep during the day. That was the big reason for doing that. I'd go down to the bottom floor, play pool, steal my dad's Bacardi, you know. and watch MTV, then do all this stuff. But this happened probably at least 3 times, to where there's a back patio on the second floor where the kitchen is and the dining room, living room. There's a patio there that has no stairs down to it, right? It's just like a viewing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You walk out kind of. Yeah. And it's probably 4x8. So
Good size.
it's a decent size area. And at least 3 times I saw someone out there. And it was, my feet are feeling tingly right now just telling the story. Because it was at least 3 times that I did see it. And it was a woman. She didn't look scary or anything like that, but had like a very light blue dress on and like a bonnet and everything, like a servant person, like somebody that would be working in the kitchen at a place like that. And then she would walk back and forth. And it wasn't like it happened just once and she disappeared.
Right.
Like I'm like staring at her and she's walking back and forth for I felt like it was like an hour. It was probably like 30 seconds. And then she would look at you and then she'd keep walking back and forth. And I was like, what the living? And it happened at least 3 times. And that's just one story. Okay.
Wait, that before or after the Bacardi?
Oh, before.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's when I would go down and have Bacardi afterwards.
Because
Like, I'm out.
Traumatized.
I'm turning on the TV downstairs. I'm playing pool because my dad had a pool table and a full bar downstairs. It was like I could play my Apple IIe. I could play my little football game and watch that and then play pool downstairs.
That's a no for me.
Yeah, because I was like, I couldn't do it. But it happened at least 3 times.
Nope.
That was probably the scariest, but it was like, I don't know. I've been scared before in real life with stuff. There's other physical things that I've been scared of, but that was the most that's imprinted in my soul since I was like 16. That's just one. I have many.
I don't know that I mean, I only have, it's not spooky. It was just weird. So we had my dad's aunt, because she's my great aunt, whatever. And she lived in like this RV on our property. And so we'd have to go check on her every so often because we just did, and sometimes she wouldn't come out. So there would be times we'd go to check on her, and it was like she opened the door and looked right through you, and would do this weird thing where she'd just be like constantly, and we're like, Aunt Claudette, we just want to see if you want food, and she wouldn't stop, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna go back inside the house. I'll send Dad out next time. That's probably the weirdest thing, because I mean, me and Beck have the conversation like we don't know why or what was happening. We're just like, we're just gonna not do that because it was weird.
Yeah,
mine's not as creepy as yours.
I have more.
Weird.
I have more.
I don't know if I want to be that creepy.
One happened to do with the Ardana's apartment. Her house had some issues with those things, with like pictures being flipped over.
Oh, no.
Like all the things were flipped over, and cupboards would be opened every day. And I was there I experienced it with her. I was like, okay, that's not okay.
Yeah.
But like when you're saying Bailey's comment in there, ghosts are real. Here's something that was very interesting that I kind of you can call it conspiracy theory or whatever, or just science to me. To me, it's science. There is, I was talking to my buddy Will the other day, and we were discussing like science and stuff we don't understand and those types of things. Go out and watch the movie Lucy.
Oh yeah.
Amazing movie. To me, it was amazing because it just if you watch it for what it is, the capacity of the human brain, which we don't use. Right. But also the perception of what's reality and what's time and what's everything that goes on around us. I was talking to Will and we were researching because he was telling me about it. There's literally shrimp that can see like thousands of more colors than we can even perceive. Right. And there's also so many things that are existing in our, and take this as fact or take me as crazy. All I'm saying is what studies have said. I'm not saying I've experienced them, and I don't want to go out and say that I believe in these things. All I'm saying is whether you believe in something or not, it doesn't change the fact whether it is or isn't.
Yeah.
Right? Your belief system is irrelevant to what actually exists.
Right.
It just is.
Yeah.
So they're talking about the coexistence of things that we cannot perceive, like physically, like in this room, there's so many things that I cannot perceive. Like I can't see the allergens that are in the air.
Right.
I can't see the dust. I can't see the smells. I can't see, those types of things. But there are beings and creatures that live on this planet that can.
Right.
Right. So you take that to an exponential level. There's so many things that we don't understand and cannot perceive. So we can say yes, flat out when you say ghosts are real, but we don't know what they are.
Right.
And we don't know if it's just a color spectrum we can't understand. We don't know if it's a being that we don't understand.
Right.
We don't know if, because there's so much scientific proof that things we don't understand exist.
Yes.
In our presence right here. There's living beings that are floating around in our face right now.
Yes.
That we don't even know exist.
Yes.
And they could be micro whatever, or they could be full size. They're so big we can't see them.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But to be so closed to say, nope, humans are this. And I was like, then we're going to regress instead of progress.
Right.
So
I agree.
So that can always spark from when somebody says ghosts are real. You're absolutely right. But we don't know that they're ghosts.
Right.
We don't know what they're
There's
called.
something.
I mean, I was just watching Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to like it, but they talk about the Jinn. And I was like, oh, I love the Jinn. Like, it's in D&D. It's in Dungeons and Dragons. So I like this. So, and that's another kind of creature or ghost or whatever thing that you just don't understand what you don't know.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gonna read Bailey's comment?
Woo!
Ryan's comment?
I don't know. You can.
And then we'll do
Because I've been reading. I've been reading too much.
Bailey said Ryan saw the aftermath of a cult and sacrifices.
You told me that story, dude.
Okay, because he said he could tell us after this.
No, I think you
Scariest
told me
moment
that
of his
story.
life.
I remember that. You were
That's
talking
a
about
no.
in the truck and everything was gone afterwards.
Oh yeah, we did hear that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no.
You'll have to get, when you're the guest. When you're the guest, when you guys are guests on our podcast,
Yep.
Ryan, you can tell that story. For sure. So I have plenty more of those kind of stories. That's a whole nother format of podcast. So
no.
this is the tame part.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we doing?
You gotta press the button.
Oh, shoot.
Shout out! Woo!
All right. This is the part of the show where we give a shout out.
Yes.
It's pretty simple. We just talk about things that, or people or we want you to check out.
Do you want to go first or?
I have, one's kind of just a continuation. Ambiverse. I'm going to put that in the thing. Ambiverse. I think it's called Ambiverse Band, but I will definitely link that in the description of this. And also when this is on podcast, I would like you guys, whoever is listening to this, to check them out because just they're fun as hell to watch too.
Yeah.
So that'll be my first one. Go for it.
So my second one is kind of plays off of
Second one, your first one.
my first one.
What? I'm confused.
Shut up. It plays off of my
You need to relax.
good. Sit down. Never mind. Forget it.
Whew, the camera equipment is attached to the table, so don't flip it, okay?
I don't even care. I'm just kidding.
All right, Sarah.
Oh my. Why? It's making me itch. Can't do it.
Woo. Keep your finger off the trigger, Scooter. Keep your finger off the trigger.
Just can't. You want to hang out after this? Forget it. I'm done. I'm going to bed.
Woo. So good.
So, off of my last thing I said about travel, so I was able to take Bailey with me to Florida for our conference.
Oh, for sure.
And she's just so much fun to hang out with. But we went to Magic Kingdom. So we went to Disney World. Neither of us did any research. So we had no idea to get from like their downtown Disney, which is called Disney Springs. It takes like 45 freaking minutes to get to Magic Kingdom. Didn't have a clue because we only had like 4 hours before everything closed. So we get to Disney World or we get to Magic Kingdom and there's like the whole fireworks thing going off. So like, well, let's find a ride. So we find a ride. It was fine. But our first goal was like, we're trying to find a drink because it's Florida and everyone's like, oh, you can drink and walk around. It's great. Everything's closed. Every bar and restaurant basically is closed. No one's serving alcohol. So we're still walking around. We find some really good rides. We learned that while at Disney World, it's not like Disneyland where like when you go on a drop, they take your picture. Disney World's like, let's just go around the corner real quick, take your picture, and then put you on the ride.
Oh, I got to send Beta that picture.
Oh my gosh. So I don't think we were ever prepared except for maybe the Buzz Lightyear ride. The other two rides we went on, we were not prepared for them taking our picture. And the one that we did get, Bailey, when you see it, I'm sorry. It's so bad. It's so bad. But but it was still, Disney World was such a really, really fun time. So in like 3 hours, we walked 6 miles because that's how big Magic Kingdom is. To get anywhere, you're just walking constantly. So in like literally 3 hours, we walked 6 miles. So we get back to the bus, takes another 45 minutes back to Disney Springs-ish area, and our hotel's a mile away still. And I was like, okay, Bailey, do you want to go get drinks? Or do you want to go back to the hotel? Because we have conference tomorrow at like 9. And she's like, I think I'm tired. I think I want to go back. I was like, okay. So we're waiting for the Uber, and she's like, or do I want to get drinks? I was like, I don't know. We can't both be indecisive. It's so bad.
It's so funny because the first thing she said was like, we're so indecisive people. Like,
Yes.
I mean, Sarah really does a lot of planning. She does a lot of planning on the back end. But when the day comes, she doesn't like to be in charge.
No, I don't
like
want
at all.
to.
Like at all.
No.
So that's where I kind of take over and, hey, we're gonna do
Yes.
this and we're gonna do this. She makes sure we get to the point.
Yes.
To where we can do
We're
stuff
at the destination.
and then I
Yes.
go through the stuff and do it. So it's really good teamwork. So, but I feel like Sarah and Bailey might
We're
be
both
decently
indecisive.
similar.
Right. So I was like, well, how about we just go out for one drink? It's already 12 o'clock. It's already midnight. We'll go out for one drink. So I find this Irish bar. They close at 2 a.m. So we Uber over there. And 2 hours later, we get back to the hotel. But it was so much fun to just hang out with her and have drinks. And we literally talked for 2 hours. And we just hung out and talked. And it was just so much fun and so nice. And so my shout outs for Bailey for hanging out with me and being indecisive with me in our random walk around Magic Kingdom where we couldn't figure out what we wanted to do.
I have to say, because whenever Sarah travels or I travel, like without the other person, we're always like saying, oh, I went out to this bar, and we take a picture, we take stuff like this. So I was getting that from both of you at the same time, and then individually. It was just the cutest, like the most fun. Like, we're tired. You said, oh, we're tired. We're just going to head back.
Yeah.
Next picture I get is you both have a shot glass in your hand.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, so they found some place to go. And what sucks is, I mean, not sucks, but it was like, for the last time I went to Florida was a long time ago, but everything closes at 3. Like, most of the places, like, they're open till 3. They'll serve till 3. And then you can go to certain a part of the native reservations, and they serve all night.
Yeah, that was
So
too much.
that's how. I mean, I'm just saying that's
They're a little
Florida's
lame.
usually 3.
Yeah.
So I was like sitting there going, and then that seems like it's ironic. Is it ironic or counter whatever? When you go to Disney and there's nothing.
Dude, it was insane.
I'm
And
like, you're in Florida.
we got there by 9, so we were like, well, something still has to be
Yeah.
open. It wasn't that
Usually,
late.
I mean, even if they close early, it's usually like 11
Right.
or midnight.
Yes. Yeah, no. We missed it. But that was okay. It was still fun. And then also Space Mountain is the scariest ride I've ever been on. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it right there. It was scary. There's no lights. Just like twinkles. And I didn't like it.
No, and I was like
I loved
very
it.
emotional that night because I'm sitting there like I'm getting like messages from both, like two of my favorite human beings in the world are sending me messages and showing them how much fun they're having, and at the same time, Ryan's sending me messages, of what he's drinking that night and those types of things. So, okay, so like right now, the Be Real is ready to go.
Oh, gosh.
So we're gonna be real while we're live. Here's a click, and here's another click.
Does it have sounds?
No, I was just seeing what it would catch. So that's the first time I caught my Be Real like live
Oh, good
in
job.
days.
Good job.
All
right, what's your last shout out?
Oh, and Bailey's saying I can't wait to see it. I did send it to you. I just texted it to you. It's not the best picture because you have to pay really a lot of.
To get the pictures,
Yeah, that's insane.
We only did 3 rides, so to get the 3 rides pictures, it was like $70. I'm like, nah. I mean, I like the picture, but for $70,
Yeah, it was a lot, but I did send it to you.
Just not bringing Genie Plus.
So. Yeah, there was an amazing evening because I was living vicariously through you two, and I love living vicariously through Sarah because she experiences stuff, and I feel like sometimes she can live vicariously through me. I think that's why we end up going to the same places after a while. That's why you go to Philadelphia with me every year now, because you used to not.
It's only been 1 year, hasn't it?
Hey, we've gone
and
twice.
twice. Yeah, you're right.
We've been twice. And I used to go without her. But yeah, so yes. I have one shout out also. Oh, yep, got my Be Real up. My other shout out, I didn't do it last week because it was before the fact, but now it's after the fact. And this person has put it on their social media, so it's okay for me to say it. Ariel turned 30.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter, amazing human being, turned 30. And it was last Saturday while we were doing our fundraiser thing. So I can't believe it. I don't know what to do about it. I can't even fathom what she's going through turning 30, because I don't know. It's just 30's a big one.
I don't remember turning 30.
Well,
Yeah. But I feel like she's doing it.
how's there?
Yeah. I feel like Ariel is so what's the word?
Oh wow.
I just feel like
That could
I
be-
don't know. I can't even explain it.
It
Like
could be offensive.
no,
but
it's not. Like
I can't even explain
it's
it.
like
She's just so
awesome. Like she's so awesome.
Wow,
The
that-
way that she does things.
that build up, and then
I
all you
know.
have is awesome.
I can't think of a better word.
Dang.
But the way that she parents, the way that she wifes, the way that she friends is like such aspirations to me. Because she like knows how to keep it all together, but knows how to be there for people in her life.
And realistically,
way.
I mean, and she's not
and that's
afraid to
pretty
say, and realistically, she's not afraid to say she doesn't have it all together.
Right.
But she does it with such purpose.
Yeah.
She parents with purpose.
Yes.
She is a wife with purpose.
Yeah.
She, being her friend, she makes you her purpose.
Right.
And I think that's the word, is
That's a
like
good word.
she really does her relationships with purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make this cool and I'm going to make this good. And even if it doesn't go well, they're like, okay, we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And we're going to have that party and we're going to, so they're so purpose driven, but it also can be very daunting for a human being to put that much on her. And I think as, that much pressure on yourself. And I think that's where this, I don't know if 30 is a year that you've been around, but I was saying, as she's grown, this is just my personal opinion. As she's grown, she's found that it's okay to not be perfect at the purpose,
Yeah.
and to do the best you can and be okay with that. Because she's such a very driven person that failure is hard.
Right.
When you're a driven person, failure is hard. And I get that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you. And we're not big birthday celebrating kind of people. But surviving 30 years, because that means you've survived at least, a decade on your own.
Right.
That's kind of a
Usually.
big deal.
Usually.
Usually some people not. But that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And especially if you're, 30 and you have a couple kids and a husband or a spouse or a significant other, a partner, it's a lot of work. And I feel like some people make it work and some people, it's not work. Yeah. It's just who you are. And that's what you do. And you enjoy it and love it. And you are one of those people, Ariel. You're a great human. So we appreciate you.
Yeah.
We miss you. Come see us. We'll come see you soon for sure.
Yes. June.
That's what we do. Yeah. Sometime next month.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. We're coming to the
Well, I
Northwest.
have to get back to work.
I know. We all have to go. We all have to get back to work. Even I do. Is like our vacation is our retirement hour or two is over.
Yes.
We have to go back to work for a couple
Yeah.
hours. But here's the funny thing is I'm probably not gonna.
I am.
She is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably stare blankly into something and probably see if I can get this up as a podcast
Oh, that's nice.
for this weekend. No, I have stuff to do too.
Good job, Vincent.
What? Je m'appelle Vincent.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we'll
Thanks
see you
for
next
everybody
Friday,
watching. And
I think. Maybe.
yes, I think we'll be back live. We'll do it on a Friday. Apologies for being on a random day.
Yeah.
But just do you know what? Do you know what can help? Is if you don't know when we're going live and we don't know what our schedule is, you can subscribe
That's true.
and you can smash that bell.
Oh, jeez.
No, because that will actually, it does work. I mean,
does
so if
tell
you
you.
hit the bell, it does actually tell you we're going live, and it gives you a warning,
Right.
or a warning, or it puts it in your kind of thing. So that I see why people say that now, because I forget when we're going live, and it goes, oh crap! Since I subscribed, I know when we're
He
supposed
said
to
we're
go
going live in 14 minutes. I was like, oh, that's quick.
Yeah, that happened today. So, love you guys. Everything that we said is true, and to our best knowledge. Yeah. So,
All right.
we're gonna challenge you. What's the challenge? What do I say? Oh
Show
yeah.
up in real life.
Oh yeah. So make sure to pull up a chair and show up in real life. Okay, and bye. We out. Bye guys. Cool thing is there's no words for this one, so you're good.
Get it wrong.